like to start off by saying Barak Deyahawa, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem B'Kakadash. Welcome to another live lesson. And the name of this one is simply Beware. And pretty much this is centered around some news I got this morning. It's a member of Great Millstone that was speaking to a member of another Israelite group out there. I'll put it like that. And pretty much the member of that other Israelite group was trying to convince the brother that their doctrine was right and that Great Millstone's doctrine was wrong. And he was adamant about it. And pretty much found out, I believe it was the very next day, that individual that tried to convert the brother from Great Millstone to the doctrine of that other group ended up, he's back in the spirit world right now, you know. So the Lord is, you know, bringing some serious judgments down, you know, upon this place, you know, because here it is, this individual was trying to convince the brother, and you know, of course, to no avail. And then come to find out the very next day that same individual is back in the spirit world, you know. So that's why the name of this is Beware. And what's happening is there's, you know, a very seducing spirit out there, you know, trying to rip brothers out, you know, of their position, you know, and away from their belief. And these are things that are, you know, that are prophesied in the scriptures. And by the way, I'm accompanied by the elder Damashapat.
Shalom, shalom.
You know, and you know, we're on our way back. You know, we came up to Chicago to break bread with the brothers out here for a couple of days, and we're on our way back to Indianapolis now. So just wanted to make mention of this real quick, because this is very important. So there's a lot of seducing spirits out there that are trying to get brothers out of the truth, and that's why the doctrine of the Israelites, especially Great Millstone, is being attacked from so-called Christians and even individuals that call themselves Israelites, you know. So that's why it's, you know, beware, because them demons are out there and they're lurking around trying to grab brothers up, trying to put shit in their head to turn them away. Now remember, Yahushua spoke about false prophets coming in the last days. The Apostle Paul spoke about false teachers coming up even among, you know, the truth, you know. And this is why you know, the way you combat it is, you know, the scriptures say, try the spirit whether they are of the Most High or not, for many false prophets are going out into the world, you know.
Yeah, these seducing spirits. Scriptures also say in the last days false prophets shall rise,
deceive many.
To deceive many, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're living in that time where these false prophets are really pushing all manner of doctrine, you know?
That's right. You know, and you can see that because, you know, here it is, this individual was trying to convince the brother that, you know, his way was the right way and that the brother from Great Millstone's way was the wrong way. And the very next day, the individual is back in the spirit world. And now he knows for sure that what he was teaching was wrong, you know? So I just want to read this precept here. This is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. It says, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. All right, so the scriptures don't lie. They're telling us straightforward that you're gonna have these seducing spirits out here, you know. And that's why you got vocab. We're just watching. We got almost through the whole video. We're watching Elder Pastor's video that he did concerning vocab and the ICGJC, and where vocab was getting bothered hot under the collar, you know, because they kept speaking about, you know, in a roundabout way, reincarnation without saying reincarnation. They're denying reincarnation, but then they're breaking it down the right way, which is crazy. But you know, that's one subject that vocab doesn't like. You know, and this is why the doctrine is being, you know, attacked, because you got these seducing spirits out there trying to get brothers off of that path. You know, and you got to remember, you had the Jesuits. Jesuits, you had the apostolic succession, and you also had the temporal power. Actually infiltrated all factions of religion to turn and convert them back to the Roman Catholic Church, because you had breakaway Christian churches that broke away from the Roman Catholic Church, so they were trying to bring everybody back under the banner of the Roman Catholic doctrine or dogma. Then you had the temporal power, which were the Jesuits that infiltrated government positions, you know, to bring it under the rule and power of the Roman Catholic Church, you know. So I'm gonna continue reading on it. You know, if you have any points you want to say, any scriptures, let me know. I'll put it up. So it says, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter time some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. And the thing about with these individuals that are teaching these false doctrines, their conscience is seared with a hot iron, you know, to where they really believe that what they're teaching and what they're saying is the truth, when in fact it is not. You know, but them demons got them convinced that they're teaching the right thing. So they're trying to use that same seductive, alluring spirit that deceived them and try to put it upon other brothers to try to put that spirit on them. But the Lord, you know, said that at the very end, it's going to be known who are the Lord's chosen. And also, you know, when the Lord makes his fine jewels, you know, you're not going to be able to take away or put out of the way the elect of the Lord. Remember what the Lord told Elijah, I have reserved unto me 7,000 men that have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Because an average person on the planet had bowed their knee to Baal in one form or another. You know? So in Acts chapter 20 and 28, this is what the Apostle Paul wrote to these churches prior to him going back into the spirit world, because he knew that soon his departure would come, and he knew that once his departure would come, there would be a lot of infiltration from these different doctrines and philosophies that were going to come and try to insert themselves into the truth. You want to say something? So it says, Acts chapter 20, verse 28, take heed therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock. It says, over the which the Holy Spirit hath made you overseers, to feed the church of the Most High, which he hath purchased with his own blood. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. It says, also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things, to drive away disciples after them. And this is what these guys are doing. They're falling away, and they're trying to take as many souls with them as possible. You know what vocab is doing, Salakia, I got Z-Mesh on the brain. What vocab is doing is he's trying to get brothers to move out of the way of the truth. And one of his biggest hang-ups out of many is the whole reincarnation thing, you know, and he's trying to say that Elijah's not John the Baptist because when Yahushua was with the disciples, you know, and Elijah and Moses appeared to him, he's saying that it's impossible for, because we heard this argument before, it's impossible for Elijah to be John the Baptist when Elijah was there. Elijah was not actually there. This is called the transfigure, you know. When you look at the word transfigure or transfiguration, the word transfiguration goes back to the word to transform, meaning to change the form of, you know. And when this is the reason that when Yahushua, you know, when they saw Elijah and Moses, that was an actual vision. That wasn't them actually being there. It was a hologram. That's why it said that he transfigured himself. And after the discourse, when Moses and Elijah disappeared, and he said, you know, that, you know, Peter and them said, should we build the tabernacle, you know, for all three of you? And then the Most High said, pretty much, this is my son right here. You know, I'm just merely paraphrasing. Then after that whole thing, remember what Yahweh said when they were leaving. He said, see that thou tell this vision to no man. It was a vision that they saw, not the actual men themselves. Okay? So this is what this guy doesn't understand. He doesn't understand spiritual things because he's a carnal man. You know? So seeing that he doesn't understand that, he doesn't accept reincarnation. And reincarnation is in the scriptures. You know? Reincarnation is in the scriptures. All right? So I just wanted to make a few, you know, mentions about that. Speak a few points on what I said earlier about the brother, the individual from another camp tried to convince a brother from Great Millstone that their truth was the truth and that we were going off. And the very next day, that individual passed away. You know, he's back in the spirit world now. You know, and we're not rejoicing or anything like that, but it just shows you that we're coming into some serious times. You know, and the Lord is not playing. You know, it's going to get, you know, the belt is going to tighten up more and more as each day goes by. You know, so with that, you know, Lord's will, if the Spirit allows, we'll, you know, come back with another lesson. But I just wanted to make mention of that. Just beware, watch your surroundings, you know, and watch these demonic spirits out here. So with that, you know, pray that your brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time, we say Shalom.